Welcome back, everyone. Hope you've had a good break. We're back with the Mania 7 Key World Cup 2023 round of 16. And of course, right here, Brazil versus Canada will be the match, the closest match in seeding through the entire round. I'm Potassium F again, joined now by Toph Daddy. How are you going?
I'm doing great. I'm excited to watch this match. Ever since the seeding showcase, I've been really excited to watch this match, and I'm really happy I get to commentate it. Obviously love these guys from Brazil and Canada. No, I talked to especially, some of the players from Brazil, but this is a no bias commentary crew, so I can't say anything. But 8 versus 9, I'm expecting a really good match here.
Yeah, and not only is it 8 versus 9, but we also get a very interesting dynamic here with the picks. Brazil performing exceptionally well in the rice pools in the qualifiers, while Canada is much more of an LN focused team. So the strengths are kind of at odds with each other here. They have very clear pick strategies, I think, between these two teams.
Yeah, and one of the interesting things about this match that we're going to end up seeing, so we're already seeing a ban on the right side from Canada here. I expect a long note ban, probably Wake Me Up, if I had to guess, from Brazil. But on top of that, because of that rice and LN dichotomy, I think this match is going to end up coming down to hybrids, which puts Canada potentially in a bit of a rough spot because they're going to run out of those long note picks before Brazil runs out of the rice picks. But even then, Canada will only have the opportunity only have the need to pick one hybrid, since each team gets a max of 3 picks each before. Or sorry, actually, I'm wrong.
Yeah,
I am mixing 2 tournaments up right now. This is first to 5, so they will have to pick 2 of the hybrids. And Shinkai, I think, is a pretty safe bet as far as hybrids go, but random and colors are both extremely risky. So it's going to be really interesting to see how these pick strategies end up.
Yeah, and what's more as well is if you look at the stage 3, the kind of easier, more consistency-based hybrid from the qualifiers, these two teams were 1,000 points apart.
If that does not go to show how close this match is going to end up being, I don't know what will. But these rice picks definitely a fair bit easier than most of the rice picks that were in that qualifier pool. So I expect that accuracy advantage to be coming out from Brazil. Angel's Ladder coming out from Brazil as their first pick, especially with a player like Lothus on their team, who is well known for having just absolute pinpoint accuracy on everything.
And we also see Silly Fangirl playing for Canada, of course, the best Canadian player.
Of course.
But yeah, it is going to be, as if you've ever watched the 4 Key World Cup, very familiar names here for Brazil, Lothus and Silly Fangirl, the rice accuracy players. And for Canada's side, I believe we should be getting Mr. Moo and Dale being the rice players playing for them.
That would be the guess. I think this is going to end up being the two-person squad for both teams for a majority of the maps. I'm not sure if one of the other Canadian players is better at long notes. I believe Makiba would be the other long note player for Brazil, so we could see those 2 players being swapped in.
I think we actually saw both of the other Canadian players play the long notes last time. Lelpop and Harambe. Yeah. What was it? Harambe Fanboy? Something like that? I forget names.
Something like that.
Yeah, Harambe Fanboy, that's the one.
Yeah, that is the one. What a name.
Both of those players being switched in for the LNs and the hybrids, during the qualifiers at least. Hard to say for this map pool here, of course, being slightly different in difficulty.
Yeah, definitely going to be favoring that accuracy over, just the physical requirements of especially the last 4 stages of qualifiers. So that won't matter quite as much when we saw the scores there. But Angel's Ladder, first pick from Brazil. I'm sure that they're very comfortable on this. And, it's exactly where we kind of expected them to go for, out of the gate. Go for the rice, go for what's comfortable to you.
Yeah, and if this does end up going the distance, you would expect Brazil to be picking basically all 4 of the rice maps. So the order perhaps not mattering so much in what they pick.
Yeah, I think if we're going to speculate later on in the match, I think the last rice pick that's going to be picked by Brazil is going to be Rain. Because that Korjak map, 1 miss and you're going to lose. And that's not the kind of risk that you need to take when you have a pretty maybe not notable advantage, but like you perform better in qualifiers on the Rice pick, so you want to be able to, flex that advantage as much as possible. And I think Rain does the worst job of allowing Brazil to do that.
Yeah, but getting into this first map here, actually very tight between these two teams, but Dale finding an early miss.
Yeah, one of those early bursts catching Dale off guard. We're getting into a little bit more of a consistent section here. This will go on for about the next quarter of the map before getting into the break. And I expect, but on Mr. Moo also finding a break, so that's no full combos left on the side of Canada, and Lotus and Silly Fangirl both holding on very strong in terms of both combo and accuracy, putting their foot on the gas right now as we get into the break in this second half. And I mean, if we're seeing misses from Canada in the first half here, I think this ending is going to be a little bit more challenging.
Yeah, definitely towards the end it does start to pick up with those patterns, but 99.8 for both of the Brazilian players holding in full combos as well. This is quite a sizable accuracy lead.
It definitely is, and I mean, score-wise, we're seeing a difference about 25,000 points, and for two players to make up 25,000 points with just a quarter of the map left, we're going to have to see a bit of a collapse from Lotus and Silly Fangirl, especially with that second miss from Mr. Moo here, and now we're getting into the more difficult Rice patterns, switching up the rhythms a lot, and Mr. Moo following it up with yet another miss, and it looks like Brazil will be able to coast into this point as long as they hold on normally throughout the rest of this map.
Yeah, they can even afford a couple misses if they really want, but as of now, it's not looking like they want to miss at all. Still holding in the double full combos at the very end of the map here.
Yeah, two full combos for the side of Brazil, beating out Canada's 0 there. Dale with one unfortunate miss right at the start, but I mean, 994, 993, absolutely ridiculous scores from both Silly Fangirl and Lotus. Ratios out the wazoo. I just don't even know.
Yeah, and that's why it's the first pick from Brazil.
Yeah, of course. What else would you expect?
Yeah, I mean, Canada, good thing getting the misses out of the way early in this first map, right? This is that was not a pick that was really up for contention with the scores like that from Brazil. So now it is the important part of what do Canada pick now? Of course, one of the LN maps should be the answer.
Yeah, in my shoes, if I was in Canada, I'd go LN3. I'd go Wake Me Up. I think that's the most coordination heavy, and I think that's the one that will favor Canada the most.
Yeah, absolutely. Canada holding a very strong stage 4 score from qualifiers, so that kind of coordination is something that they really do excel at.
But I mean, I don't think it would be a bad idea to go with either LN3 or LN2. I think both are going to end up coming out in this match regardless. It's just about which one Canada wants to start with. And in some cases, that if they do end up swapping both of their players out for this next pick, they might want to go with LN2 as they're doing, so that so that potentially like the nerves, anxieties of the match don't get to them quite as much as they might on a heavy coordination map like Wake Me Up.
Yeah, so we are going to be starting with Daisuke here. The LN Density, more streamy kind of LN map coming out here.
Got a banger coming up. I always love when the songs are good in the coolest.
Of course. Yeah, we are going to see a couple of swaps here for the bottom two players. Makiba swapping in for Silly Fangirl and Harambe Fanboy coming in instead of Dale.
Yeah, at that point, it's just a question of whether Lel Pop's coming in for Mr. Moo as well, or if Lotus will be swapped out for the fourth player on Brazil, who I cannot remember. But we have the start command, so it doesn't look like any more swaps will happen. Lotus and Mr. Moo definitely staying in for this, and Canada looking to strike back with a pick of their own on Daisuke, starting with a bit more of a comfortable long note pick before they potentially move into that control-based long notes in Wake Me Up. And right out the gate, we're seeing some troubles from both sides. Harambe Fanboy and Makiba both having a little bit of trouble locking down their accuracy in those earlier patterns. But calms down just a little bit here, and we should see the accuracy start to improve on Mr. Moo and Lothus matching each other, but a little bit of an accuracy drop from Lothus is going to help on Mr. Moo bring that lead to Canada's side as we get into the first verse with some simpler patterns before we hit the first chorus.
But it is very close between these two teams, at least so far. Makiba actually dropping in accuracy just a little bit, while Harambe Fanboy has been recovering from that early accuracy deficit. And Lothus, a couple of misses there.
Yeah. Another miss right there. That's 3 misses in a row from Lothus. Better to have them all at once, but even then, that is going to drop their accuracy down to 99.38, and Makiba actually also dropping a bit of accuracy in that section, and a lead just spiked up in favor of Canada there. Both players holding onto the full combos as we transition out of this chorus. Mr. Moo putting on a show right now with that 99.7, bringing Canada to a very significant lead, though that accuracy from Lothus trying to catch back up. The bar's shrinking. Makiba and Harambe Fanboy do trade misses, not going to affect too much, but Makiba had the lower accuracy. That's going to affect Brazil a little bit more than it will Canada.
Yeah, it is basically all the difference right now in Mr. Moo compared to Lothus right now. Makiba and Harambe Fanboy fairly similar in accuracy, both 1 miss apart, but Mr. Moo with the only full combo left and the highest accuracy in the room is really making all of this difference.
Yeah, we got about a 10-15,000 point difference as we get into the final patterns of the map. I think 1 or 2 misses is probably safe for Canada, but a little bit more, but Lothus eases that load for Canada. It looks like they will be able to strike right back with a 1-1 scoreline as Makiba misses right at the end. Mr. Moo getting the full combo, bringing the Canadians to their first point. Yeah, next lowest 200 count 23 by Lothus just goes to show how impressive that kind of score is on a 7-key long note map.
Yeah, it definitely does look like Canada is feeling comfortable with these LN picks, at least for that first one. And it is going to be 1-1, not a sweep, confirmed after 4 sweeps.
After 4, yeah, a first match that's not a sweep this weekend. We did it.
And it is definitely looking like that will continue, at least for the next couple maps. Brazil's pick now, they look very strong on Angel's Ladder.
Rain comes out. I don't like this pick very much, actually. Lothus's accuracy is obviously going to be extremely good on this, but I really am not sure about this over something like Busy Come, Busy Go.
Yeah, I mean, if there are any players that I think about Quad Jacks for, Lothus and Silly Fangirl, Brazil as a whole for 4K in particular is definitely a team that I would think about. But as you said before, when, Quad Jacks early on like this, a single miss basically will give over the point to the other team.
Yeah, and on top of that, I wouldn't really count Dale out of this, or Mr. Moo. Any of the players can probably get extremely good accuracy on this. And, I mean, like you said, 1 miss is going to do it. Lothus probably feeling very comfortable on a map like this, but I've also seen Lothus have issues with consistency when it comes to maps like this. Even in 4-key, where it's a little bit easier to keep that coordination going. And with the heavy anchors in this, I'm not sure that this is the best pick Brazil had under their belt.
Yeah, we'll see if there is any chance for a breakpoint here. Canada definitely have a good shot at this one.
And in my opinion, I think a breakpoint might be needed for Canada to feel comfortable with the rest of this match. They have 1 more long note pick at least remaining in the pool, but then they got to move into that really risky hybrid pool before they do anything else. So that can be a little bit complicated to worry about. And if they want a breakpoint, this is the place to do it.
Have to see so far. Everyone doing pretty well in the ratio at the start. Nice hit sounds here.
Of course. Oh, early drop from Dale already. Having really good accuracy in that start, just maybe not reading that transition properly, and that's going to help Brazil keep the lead, or at least build a lead. Lothus going back up to the 100% after dropping a regular 300 in the intro.
Yeah, and that's another miss from Dale as well. That means that, I mean, if Brazil hold these full combos, they are pretty much guaranteed to take the point. As we said before, 1 miss is enough, theoretically, to guarantee this point.
Especially with that kind of accuracy from Brazil. Mr. Moo not too far behind the 2 Brazilian players, and I figured Dale would be pretty close if he didn't miss in that intro or miss the 2 times. This would be a lot closer if we end up seeing misses. Anchors abound, but I do not doubt the abilities of the 2 Brazilian players to hold on to the combo despite the anchoring nature of the map. And we're already past the halfway point, and that's a second miss from Canada on Mr. Moo. 2 full combos to 0, just like we saw in Angel's Ladder, and that is not going to look good for the potential for Canada to take this break point.
Yeah, definitely looking like Brazil's running away with this one. And this accuracy from Lotus right now, 99.99. Interested to see what the ratio is. Actually,
Mr. Moo not having a good time.
Yeah, a few misses there. But if you look at the hit concentration, I do think Dale has a really, really strong ratio as well. If not for those misses early on.
That was 2 misses, and they've already built up to 99.87 with 2 misses. That is impressive accuracy. But Lotus, I think, actually may have dropped to 200 or just had a rush of 300s. They were at the 99.99, but they dropped down to the 99.97. Despite that, Brazil will feel a nice, comfortable lead here at the end. A 999 from Lotus. What else would you expect? 15. Oh, I mean, 27 from Dale with 3 misses. I don't count the man out, but just not enough. 2 full combos from the side of Brazil is enough to lock that point away.
Those are some absolutely tiny 300 counts from 3 players here. 15, 27, 48. And on Mr. Moo, 142 as well with 0 200s.
Oh, actually, it looks like Mr. Moo would have had some keyboard issues on that. Not that I think it would have mattered. Brazil did not miss, and they had incredible ratios. So, but it gives Mr. Moo a chance to look at the keyboard issues, make sure that they don't happen. I mean, I expect LN3 to come out. I don't think there's another pick that really makes sense here.
That is the only pick that is that Canada should be very comfortable picking until they start having to take risks with the hybrids. And yeah, it does come out here, LN3.
That coordination starting to come out in the match now. I mean, I feel comfortable with Canada having this as a pick in their pocket, but now there's no long note picks after this happens. They will have at least one more pick in this pool no matter what, and they'll have to go with whatever rice pick they think is more comfortable or move into the hybrids, which is a bit of a risky field to go into, especially with random and colors both being extremely high risk, high reward. I am really interested to see what they plan to do with that hybrid pool.
Yeah, it'll definitely be a very interesting one to see. I think colors, I don't think we've seen so far, being one of the most risky maps for any team to pick.
Yeah, I mean, a map having 30 seconds of difficulty with some crazy stagger releases is going to do that to a map. But here we go into the second long note map of the match. Second pick from Canada on Mr. Moo and Harambe Fanboy coming in. So same player who was in on Daisuke. Makes sense to see them in for the long notes here again. Early accuracy favoring Brazil here. The rhythms in this map a little bit off from what the notes are, so that could tend to be a little bit of an issue for some players to hold on to. This one holding onto that 1/4 rhythm throughout, despite the rhythm of the song being a little more swing. So ignoring the music itself can be a little bit challenging, I think, for some players, and that's showing off a little bit. Harambe Fanboy down to the low 99s, everyone else holding on, though we haven't hit the really difficult coordination patterns quite yet.
Yeah, this is definitely a pretty significant accuracy lead right now for Brazil. Both players on Brazil holding... Oh, actually, as I said that, Makiba struggling so much on this kind of one-hand inverse.
Still actually holds on to a better accuracy than Harambe Fanboy, but that full combo from Harambe Fanboy is allowing Canada to sneak into that lead right now. And Lotus matching that miss, so it's 2 full combos, 2-0 in favor of Canada now. And that's going to help give Canada the ability to hold on to that lead. got just this final long note tech section. That lead is still pretty small. The accuracy lead in favor of Brazil is definitely helping keep that a little closer, but Lothus continuing to find misses is going to potentially seal the deal here as we approach the very end of this techie long note section, and Canada feeling a little bit more comfortable getting that second point under their belts.
Yeah, now Canada with the accuracy lead after that drop from Lothus. Mr. Moose still holding this 99.7 again on yet another LN map.
Yes, absolutely clutch performances from both of the Canadian players. That high accuracy from Mr. Moo and Harambe Fanboy, despite the accuracy drops early on, held onto the combo the whole time and gave them a 26,000 point lead over Brazil. 4 pretty comfortable wins so far. Brazil and Canada just trading points so far, but things are going to start to get a little bit more dicey as picks start running out.
It's a funny ratio difference between Lothus and Harambe Fanboy here.
It is pretty funny. And Harambe Fanboy taking the win over Lothus by 29 points.
Combo game, what can you say?
Combo gamed. Lothus just got combo gamed. Busy come, busy go. I figured this would be Brazil's second pick after seeing Angel's Ladder come out. But, you know, makes sense to come out here now that they've had both of their wins on the Rice picks. And, I mean, what else are they going to do? Push into the hybrid section of the pool?
Yeah, definitely. We are expecting all of these Rice to come out at some point.
I mean, yeah, Brazil just kind of had a game plan. They were like, we've got 4 Rice picks. We're going to pick them all. It doesn't matter which 4 they are. And, you know, Canada deciding to get rid of the speed pick means that Brazil has a steady plan. And, I mean, it's interesting to see that the strategy that came out, because, like, they went for Rain as their second pick, but they're leaving the Cord Stream pick for last, which is potentially, like, in that same boat of Rain, where these players are definitely capable of getting really, really good accuracy, and singular misses can mean the end for you. So we'll see how that ends up holding out for Brazil, but before they get there, they've got to get this point on Busy Come, Busy Go here, which the ending definitely a little bit challenging.
Oh yeah, this one being a technical map as well. One of the trickier maps in the whole pool, I would say.
I would tend to agree with you. I think the beginning, like the first like half of it is on the more straightforward side. There's like 1 or 2 bursts in the beginning that can be a little bit challenging, but the real difficulty is going to come from how consistent the players are at the second half. And we're already seeing something from Canada. A miss from Mr. Moo on one of those opening bursts. Not to mention the swing patterning here with that OD7.8, not treating players super well on the accuracy side. Lothus obviously holding very well. I mean, I've said this multiple times. What do you expect from the guy?
Yeah, Lothus does things. Lothus does Lothus things when it comes to Rice accuracy here. Canada holding on some pretty good accuracy themselves, but that one early miss holding them back a little bit, and of course Brazil just overall having the accuracy lead is giving them even more of an advantage. But as you said, this is still the first half. You're going to have to see what happens towards the second half, because Canada are not too far behind in the accuracy.
Yeah, not too far behind, and that miss was really early on from Mr. Moo, which means any miss from Brazil here in this ending section will be more detrimental to the score than it was for Mr. Moo. They will lose out on the full 400 combo bonus, whereas Mr. Moo only lost about 80 combo to that. But that lead is still pretty heavy from Brazil. It looks like it might still take multiple misses from the side of Brazil to give that lead over to Canada. But we have the hardest material in the map still coming up in this last quarter here. But Brazil just eating through it.
Oh, another miss from Mr. Mood there, but how is Lothus 990? 990? Huh?
99.87. Okay. Both Brazilian players on pace for 990k. Absolutely ridiculous scores. Dale holding on to the full combo despite another miss from Mr. Moo. But will not be enough to hold on against a 1.987 million score from Brazil. We said before the match started that they were very good on Rice, and their qualifier scores on the Rice maps were good. But I don't know if that prepared anyone for how good they were doing.
What is this? How do you ratio this map? I don't even know.
Be Lothus. That is the answer.
Yeah, well, Brazil looking very scary on the rice. As usual, as we've seen so far throughout the match. There's going to be another comfortable point for them. But now is the interesting part, because both teams have been picking their comfortable maps. Both got 5 very convincing wins in a row here. But now Canada have the choice.
My bet is on colors. I think colors is coming in. Hybrid 3.
I want to see colors.
I think colors is coming out because it's the most LN accuracy focused hybrid of the remaining 3.
It definitely has.
Go.
Oh,
Your
yes.
boy is so good at guessing. Colors coming out from Canada, looking for those staggers and those LN flams to give them the advantage here. Only about 30 to 40 seconds of difficulty, but that is going to define your run. So they got to feel a bit confident going into this to make sure that they can get that point back.
But yeah, you're going to be feeling so nervous on a map like this, no matter what, though. No matter how confident you are, just the fact that there's such a short amount of time where there are actually, like, you know, patterns that are important. 30 seconds only. So a single miss is going to be so detrimental.
Yeah, and it looks like we might actually be seeing Silly Fangirl staying in for this map. So the Rice aspect and the combo aspect might be favoring Silly Fangirl over Makiba in this case, which is interesting to see, but it might end up working out for Brazil if they're able to get that break point on this pick from Canada.
It looks like Dale is actually staying in as well for Canada, so both of the Rice teams staying in for both of them here.
That's what it looks like, but it looks like Canada wants to take their timeout, which I believe they can. It is their pick. Wouldn't have any problems with that. Just give them the extra 2 minutes to calm their nerves and talk over a plan to make sure they have the right players in. Mr. Moose looking like they're getting, they're either swapping out or trying to fix their keyboard issues.
That would be fair enough.
Our ref has said that it is not. Okay, hold on.
Mm-hmm. But it does look like Lelpop is switching in after Mr. Moo left. So we are going to be seeing a new player coming in here for Canada.
Oh, looks like the timeout's not happening here.
Yeah, so we are going to be seeing them go in here. No, Mr. Moo here, who has been the stronger player for Canada for the LN map so far, but of course hybrids are a different story.
Yeah, interesting to see that. But you know, you said Lelpop was pretty common in you know, those long note picks for Canada, so it makes sense to see them coming in for a map like this.
Here we go, long intro here for this map. And a little bit of an ACK advantage for Brazil. We're seeing some ACK drops. Lelpop actually going to be the first miss. And that's going to mean a whole lot if Brazil manage to hold on to these combos.
Indeed. 2 full combos on the side of Brazil is going to definitely help keep that lead. Also, the accuracies on Brazil. Lothus holding on to above a 99.8 right now, dropping a little bit there with some of those flams, but the combos definitely keeping them above in this game.
And that's going to be it. That's the end of all of the difficulty of this map. And with this lead, it's going to be Brazil taking a breakpoint. Oh. Silly fangirl. Little bit of a silly miss at the end there, but fortunately that is not going to matter. There's just not enough notes in the map. So yeah, pretty much 2 full combos here for Brazil. And the accuracy lead is what really does that. And that's going to be the first breakpoint we're seeing of the match. Brazil up 4-2 and match point as well on Brazil's own pick. They still have 1 rice map left.
Yeah, I mean, you can't expect anything other than that rice map to come out. Prime Matrix, definitely the very clear pick coming out from Brazil, unless I'm crazy, which sometimes I am. And that Brazil does that to me all the time.
No, I don't think you're crazy on this one. I think there's such an obvious pick here for Brazil to go for that. Yeah, and it does come out. The last pick for Brazil. And Canada now are forced to win 2 maps in a row if they want to stay in this and force a tiebreaker out. So we are going to see Mr. Moo coming back in for Canada alongside Dale. It is time for Canada to do what they haven't managed to do so far in the match. They're going to have to win on one of these rice picks, but as you did say before, this one is more of an accuracy-focused chord stream pick. So if Canada do have the ability, the physical ability, the comfort on this 150 BPM denser chord stream patterns, then they could have some chances here. Only 1 miss away from, theoretically being able to take this one.
Yeah, we see the Start Command coming out, but Accuracy Gaming coming alive. Brazil being very consistent on these rice picks so far. We haven't seen, I don't think, any misses on the rice picks from Brazil so far. I need to double check that, but yeah, it looks like we've had 6 full combos on the 3 rice picks from the side of Brazil. Canada not being so lucky, finding a few unlucky misses throughout those picks. And the accuracies from Brazil just being so strong as well. Obviously, this was going to end up coming out from Brazil regardless of the situation, but definitely potentially on the easier side of the pool to keep combo up. And for a team like Canada, this is another very good opportunity to take a break point, and they're going to need it if they want to stay alive in this match.
Yeah, so far, we're seeing the 4 full combos come out. But it is Brazil holding the accuracy lead out of the gates, as has been the case with these rice maps so far. Both Canadian players still holding 99.6s.
Accuracy favoring Brazil as it has been for all of the other rice picks, though no misses coming out from any players yet, so the lead is not as clear as it has been for the previous rice picks. Both of the Canadian players behind in accuracy compared to both Lotus and Silly Fangirl, but close enough that 1 or 2 misses from Brazil will definitely help Canada stay within range to strike for this match.
It is definitely close enough to be competitive here, but they are going to have to rely on either a very significant accuracy drop or a miss from Brazil.
Getting into the last quarter, things get a little bit denser here, but also two-handed, so the patterns get a little bit on the easier side for many players to keep that accuracy up, but it looks like Brazil is still holding on to that advantage. Not by a whole lot. The accuracy is building up from both Mr. Moo and Dale 940, while the consistency just staying in the side of Brazil. No misses coming out of that section, though, as we get into the final section. A miss is going to have to happen if Canada wants to come back alive for this match.
Oh, they're staying in it so close, but there's just no mistakes. Brazil just refused to make any mistakes whatsoever on the rice. And that is going to be 1 more point, 5-2. Brazil finishes the match off, and that's 89-300.
That is 89-300s. Ridiculous scores from the Brazilian players here on all of the Rice picks. No misses coming from Brazil on Rice, and just managing to grab that break point on Hybrid 3 from Canada, taking the win in the match. Of course, Canada not knocked out of the tournament yet. We will still continue to see these players, but they will be knocked into the losers bracket to face, actually, Canada, I believe, facing the number 16 seeded team, which I need to remember what team
Vietnam.
that is. Yes, Vietnam, and Brazil going on in the winners bracket to face South Korea.
Fun. But yeah, I mean, Brazil versus South Korea might actually be pretty interesting with the accuracies like we've just seen. If they're still able to pull that off with the next pool, definitely a match to watch out for. But as you said, Canada still have one more shot. They are going to be facing Vietnam in the losers bracket, so still having a good chance of going very deep into the tournament, especially with scores like they were getting just then.
Yeah, absolutely. But that is actually going to be the last match of this block. Next match, I believe, happening in about 9.5 hours from now. But with the ending of this block, we don't really have too much to say. We want to make sure that everyone comes back, but we also want to make sure that everyone knows I got to shill. I'm a shilling master. I got to do it every time I'm up here. And so I got to remind everyone that there is an open collective for the World Cups, for 17th Mania World Cup going on right now, obviously. You can donate as much money as you want to help support the players in the tournament, to make sure that these lovely players get their prizes and, just help support us in what we are doing. Banners are not quite out yet, so I will not announce those, but we will make sure to let everyone know once the banners are ready to go. But regardless of that, have anything else to say before we sign off until 9 UTC for Indonesia versus Japan?
Yeah, quite a long time until that, but if you are awake during 9 UTC, I would definitely recommend checking out that match. Indonesia versus Japan is going to be definitely another exciting one, and I mean that seriously. So make sure you tune in at 9 UTC in 9 hours for that one. But until then, we'll be taking a break, so we'll see you next time.